making vegetable curry with a coconut sauce. Welcome to Cook Vegan. My name's Farah Shammas and it's a pleasure to share with you one of our household favorites. So I'm going to start off with our wok here. I've got all my ingredients already cut up ready, but what is so important about Cook Vegan and all my recipes is you can do it as you're going along, so you don't have to be as prepared as I am now. You can definitely be as messy as I am now. I've got bits of the baby all over me. And as I've said before, this is real food for real people and real families. So my kids love this. It's one of the favorites in our house. And they also love it on top of buckwheat. It makes them have a difference in grains. We can put wild rice underneath it. Today we're going to have it with quinoa. So I'm just going to turn up the heat here on the stove. And I'm going to put that on full heat now. So 9. And I'm holding the olive oil, but it's not olive oil. I want my coconut oil for here. So I'm just going to pour this in. And I don't want to use too much coconut oil, but enough that I can really saute the ingredients before I add in the coconut milk and the flavorings. So I'll get a spoon out here. And once this is done, I'm going to add, the first thing I'm going to add is, this is 1 small onion. Now, if you've got a bigger onion, that's also fine. Now, it's good to have in mind that we want basically to be able to put our fork in all its ingredients, and this is a vegan curry, but we really want to enjoy the chunkiness of it. So we've got our onion chopped here. We have our ginger, very, very important ingredients with this curry. It's so good. And this is about a 3-inch chunk of ginger, peeled and chopped into really small pieces. You don't want this in too big a chunk, because then you might end up just eating too much ginger, and definitely the kids won't appreciate that. And 3 cloves of garlic. These are chopped slightly bigger, just to make sure the flavor's there. And yes, you will get them, maybe be the lucky one to have a chunk, but that's okay. All right, so there we go. My oil is just starting now to heat. Sorry, I've been making other things with olive oil that of course gets hot much quicker. So now this is starting to sizzle away. And I'm going to leave this on for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's all become golden and bronzed and beautiful, and then I'm going to start adding the other ingredients. And now that everything's started to soften, so it's only been in for even less than 3 minutes, you can see some of it's getting golden. Now is the time I'm going to add my carrots. So I have 3 carrots here cut. It depends what size, so you can see that takes up about half a plate. Cut into nice, I would call these chunky vegetables, nice chunky vegetable cuts. And I'm just going to coat that with all the coconut oil. Now this whole recipe doesn't take more than 20 minutes, so you do need time to cut your vegetables. But to be honest, once you've done your onion and your ginger and garlic, then you could just throw those in the pan, and in the few minutes, the 3 minutes that it's taking to just get that delicious bronze, then you could cut your carrots, put those in, and if you get the right order, actually you can do everything simultaneously, and it really doesn't take very long at all. So this is, I love curries and stir fries, because I just think they're so healthy. It's a great way of vegan staying healthy, and if you're not vegan, then it's also a great way of you getting in your plant-based goodness. And everyone can have a vegan meal. That is my motto. Even if you're a meat lover, you can always do your bit for the environment. I think a lot of us, after lockdown, have just seen the world heal. I mean, this year with the reduction in traveling and even people purchasing power, it's been a sad year in so many ways, but I always like to look on the positive side. And it really has been a great year to see so much nature flourish. So I think it definitely has convinced many younger people, and I hope many from all generations, just to try and be that bit healthier for the planet. So even if you don't have any other reason to want to reduce your meat or dairy intake, then do it for the world, do it for the planet, and of course there's the other reasons of animals and your health. So I'm rambling now while I'm cooking my vegan meal. But yeah. So now that once the carrots, you can leave those in just a a little bit longer, but because I want to show you what we're doing. So once those have been in, ideally for about 4 or 5 minutes, just stirring around just to get that bit softer. I'm going to add in now the green beans. So this is 2 nice big handfuls of green beans. The ends have been cut off, but again, we haven't cut these into too small pieces because we want that chunkiness in this. So we really want a delicious, nice, chunky coconut curry. So that. Now this is a great base, to be honest. You could put any curry paste on this, but I'll show you the one that we're making at home. We like that spice and flavour, but we don't want it too spicy because we have 3 young kids who are going to eat this, and my 10-month-old absolutely loves curries, as do the other 2, but it's quite funny how the little one came out. Maybe because I ate curries during my pregnancy, absolutely loving them. So I'm just going to leave that now for another, maybe again, I love this 3 minutes, I think it's 3 today. But I'm just going to leave that there to get a little bit softer, and then I'm going to add in my zucchini or courgettes with my cauliflower. So I'll be back in a second and show you that. So now that this has been in for about 3 minutes, I'm going to add our zucchini. So this is 3 medium, again, nicely chunkily chopped courgettes that are going in. I'm going to throw those in. In my hand. And this I'm just going to stir. Now, the courgettes or zucchinis will only be in for about a minute before I add in the cauliflower. Now, what I love about curries is really you can put any vegetables that you've got in your house, in your freezer, in your pantry, anything that you've got left. So in our case, I do love adding a little bit of broccoli in this, but I just don't have any today, so it is what it is. But you can add some broccoli to this as well. You could also add even some frozen peas. It makes it quite interesting. So you've got to get your chunky vegetables and then your little bit of peas around. If you do like tofu, I wouldn't say maybe with this curry, but in other curries also it is delicious. And then there's also, you've got your canned veg, worst case scenario. Okay, it's not doesn't taste as nice, but you can do things with your store. We've all learned to utilize those cans and frozen things, especially during lockdown. And this year was definitely a good example of making the most of things. So here I've got half a head of cauliflower that I'm adding to this mix. And I just really want there's not that much oil as you can see going around, and I can lift it. There's nothing at the bottom. This is all just almost being cooked now in its own juices. But as I toss this around, you can see that the cauliflower is getting some of the colour from the oil and from just the liquid that's being let out from the rest of the veg. So that's really what I want here, just to get the flavours, just to gather the flavours all together. And again, this is only for about a minute. So I'll put that. And now is the time I'm going to add in my vegetable stock cube. I always say, if you've got other types of vegetable stock, or if you're good and you make your own, then that's amazing. And that's why, also for us, I'm not going to add in any extra salt to this curry, because this vegetable stock does have a little bit of salt with it. But if it doesn't, then you might want to add. But salt and pepper is always something that's so personal. So I'm just stirring that all around now. Get that in. Oh. And now is the time, that's how quick it is, it doesn't need very long. I'm going to add in our organic coconut milk. This is a tin of coconut milk, so 1 whole, oh I love the look of coconut milk. Oh, and the water comes out. Oh my goodness, I just sprayed myself. That's why I always say I need to have an apron on when I do these demonstrations, but I don't want to appear like a 1950s housewife, so I am definitely a real 2020 working mama lady in the kitchen that has bits of baby slobber on me and don't know what else, dirty handprints, and my computer around there that I'm working from at home now that we're staying home for a bit and being careful from this pandemic. So now that I've added that in, you can see one tin is enough. It's so lovely. So I'm leaving that there, and now I'm going to add in all our spices. So I'll just get those from over here. So for this, we're going to add in one teaspoon. I'm going to do a heaped teaspoon, and this also is a tiny one, so of turmeric. Now turmeric is so good for you. Turmeric, people say like all these different ways. It is so good for you. If there's one spice you should try and eat every single day, that is the one. It's just so good for your whole system, for your immunity, to build up your immunity, kind of thing, for your blood, for your circulation, anti-cancerous. It's so good. So do try and add that. I actually, when this is done, because I don't want to fill it too much with the flavour, but when this is finished, I actually add a tiny bit more just to my individual portion. Now cinnamon, I'm going to add in half a teaspoon as well to give it that delicious sweet taste. And I'm going to get the curry powder. I need my small spoon that can... I'm going to add one heaped... Okay, again, this is a tiny teaspoon. So it's the one, let's say, normal teaspoon of curry powder. So put that in. And immediately, all the different spices and flavors, they just all come together. It's so delicious. So now I'm just going to stir that in and make sure that's all evenly distributed around our vegetables. And then I'm going to cover this is a wok, or you could be just doing this in a big pan. You don't have to make it in a wok. And I'll leave it to simmer for about 15 minutes. It might need 20. You'll just see how the vegetables are. But what we don't want is soggy, sad looking vegetables that just sink into a mass at the bottom of this curry. We do want the veg to still have that chunky feeling, still be not, I don't want to say crispy, because you don't want to also be chewing on raw veg in the curry, but we still want that crispy at least texture and feeling with the vegetables. So there we go. So I'm going to leave that there now, and I'll just leave that to simmer on a medium heat for 15 to 20 minutes. So now this has been on for nearly 20 minutes. I'll take that off. Oh, the smell is so good, everyone. I really, I can't tell you enough times that you really have to make this. It's so easy. So you can see this delicious, creamy coconut flavor with the curry and the turmeric and our cinnamon. So it all comes together nicely. And the vegetables are soft, but you see they're not soggy. Even the beans, they're still a nice, they take their shape. There you go. You see it's soft enough to eat. Even the baby can manage that, but not too crunchy. So that's it. It's ready. So that's it. I'll turn that off. That's it. Just under 20 minutes. And as I said, you can chop and do this along as you're throwing in one thing, then chop up the other. So this is the easy whole food for everyone to enjoy, even if you're on your own at home, or if you've got a huge family, or if you've got guests. This is also a favorite when we have dinner parties. Obviously not really this year, but in normal times when we have dinner parties, this is also a great dish. And also another little tip, it's perfect to make bit more than this. We have it for the family lunch, and then I have whatever's left for the dinner, and it's another dish to have when we have guests over. So I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make our very, very super simple coconut-based vegan curry. And if you enjoyed this, then do check out. I'm quite hot now because I've had other recipes going on and doing simultaneously videos while we've been making this curry. So I've just made some fennel soup and also some vegetable quinoa. So really, really yummy stuff. And we've got loads of other things on Cook Vegan. This is a new channel. Please do subscribe and support me. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to turn on your notification button so that you see and hear whenever I post new videos. So over and out from me. Take care, everyone. Cook Vegan, and I'll see you soon.